Okay, cool. Yeah, so you can show the site. If you want to show Bitbucket, you can maybe actually yeah, that's probably better. So show Bitbucket, show like how you structure everything, like where your files are, and then show the site after that.
Um,
Like if you just use if you just use actually you can just show the website. I don't want to make this complicated. Just show the website. It's all good.
okay. All right. Can I see my screen?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, special. I see you. This look good, girl.
All right. I didn't come up with any type of like official presentation speech, but basically I made it a website as if our group was a company that made websites for other businesses. Excuse me. So our group is the Convert Tracking Unit, and I came up with like a cheesy slogan where unique minds come together to reach your coding destination. He said we had to include pictures, so I kind of just stole pictures and asked them to send me pictures. And at the bottom, I had just came up with our contribution to the company. Do you want me to read all of it or?
No. I mean, you don't have to read all of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then my navigation bar, I have about us with the mission statement on it. And then our services, I just came up with different packages that we quote offer. So the World Wide Web Welcome package is like just creating a website from scratch. The Phoenix package is a revamp website package. Enhancement, if you're just looking for upgrades or modifications to the front or the back end of your website. And then the extra kit package is just if you just want your website to be debugged, if you're getting some kind of errors and you just wanted that to be filtered out. Then I came up with a facts page. I just added 10 questions and answers, frequently asked questions, and then our contact us page for, inquiries. Now, the code that I used for this page, they said that is not the best one to use because it's not like browser, um, it's not compatible with all browsers or everyone's, I guess, computer type. So when I hit submit, it kind of opened up my email app on my laptop. So I'm not sure. I tried to send like a test and I used my email to see if it worked. It didn't work. but but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Kev, can you hear me?
Yes.
It looks really good. So you actually did something that is like better than what I suggested. Like it's always good to like it's a good look to make a company website to make it look like you're like a company. And then like and this is the first iteration and it looks really good. I mean you got all the different pages, you got the images there, even all the descriptions and even all of the navigation options that you normally see on a website. So that's definitely a really good job. And I would say that this is definitely like above and beyond. Now um, for the constructive criticism, um, this is definitely a first iteration of a website and like there's a few things that we can improve, like you see like on the edges there's like space on the sides and like that type of stuff that can be removed by using the reset css. I'm not sure if I even told you about reset css or like normalized css, and I'll show y'all again how to put that in, but that type of stuff will be taken care of. I do like the animation of the text. How did you do that? Is that like a GIF or is it just like text and like it's
For
just
for the welcome part,
yeah.
I use the marquee tab. I think it's MARQUE, and then I think you got to do a behavior, and it was like smooth, so it can just like smoothly run across. And then I use the direction of left, so it can go from right to left.
Okay. So yeah, I don't think I ever used that before. let me
Yeah, it's right here. So
okay. Wow. I've never seen that tag before. This is the first time. Wow. So that one animates, okay, it said direction left. Okay, be ever smooth. Wow.
yeah, so you could do horizontal instead of vertical. And then you can put the direction you want it to move and then how you want it to move. I think they had another option, like if I wanted it to run across and then just stop on the page, but I just thought that it keep running across looked better to me.
Okay. Yeah, it looks really good. I like it. And I didn't expect I'm sorry, my camera keep going off. I didn't expect anybody to do like anything past like the HTML that we already learned. So it's good that you're incorporating like extra stuff on top of that. So my fiance said next to me, she's like looking at it too.
It's really good.
Oh, thank you. How are you this morning?
I'm good. It's really good. I was like, what? I'm impressed. I feel like a proud mom.
Thank you.
Something's wrong with my camera. What is wrong with this thing? Okay. Yeah, good job. I'm not sure how the rest is gonna follow. It's gonna follow that. But yeah. Who wants to go next?
I can go for Team Leopards. Well, yeah, we can go.
Yeah.
Share my screen. Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so we decided to go with a little team spirit. You know, got the Leopards logo in the background, got Team Leopards up top, and then we have our profiles here. And our profiles also linked to LinkedIn. So if we go ahead and click on one, you can actually get to our LinkedIn profiles. And we have, you know, separate cards with mini bios, and we have our own separate pages as well. So if I click on mine, of course, it's blank because we don't have any projects yet, but just a brief greeting and then a small portfolio section at the bottom. And then we have, of course, a way to get back to homepage and navigate.
Cool. Yeah, this looks really good too. So yeah, even though, so did y'all use like Bootstrap or Boma or something like that?
Boma.
Use Boma.
They're called card classes in Boma. That's where I got these. They had different images there, but of course I replaced it with the LinkedIn image anchor tag to the LinkedIn profile. And there's another one class called columns that I had to combine it with, so that this one is called, since it was 5 of us, we created a column called 1/5, 5 times across, so that it spreads evenly across the page.
Yeah, it looks good. Nice and like crisp. Yeah, I even like the leopards, the leopard up top.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it like pop. It's like it kind of like captivating. It kind of like draws you in. And it just and then you scroll down and you see those cards at the bottom, and it's like I can tell that that's a framework. So that, yeah, it looks really good. Now for some constructive criticism, I would say, so if you look at the images, right, you can tell that some of them are a little stretched, like
Right.
it's not fitting in the correct way. And there is a fix for that. And I can
Okay.
let me fix my camera. Why is it doing this? Yeah, so there is a fix for that, and I can show you how to do that too. Like there's a way to keep like the aspect ratio, and that's really where it threw it off. And also where I know you use the 1/5 in BOMA, but I think
Mhm.
the thing that needs to be a little bit adjusted, and maybe it's just like my taste of things. Normally, you see some padding on the sides of the website. For example, if you look at the images, they're right up against the edge of it. If there's like some space in there, like there's normally like some padding on the sides of it, just so everything's not up on the edge of the website. Um,
Okay.
I do like that y'all use the LinkedIn logos there. Did y'all, so is that an image y'all got from online? Like, is it like a screenshot? Like how did y'all get that image on there?
Yeah, that is screenshot, added the PNG to our repository, pushed it up.
Okay, cool. And y'all even use a PNG, that's good. So yeah, I like it. I really do. So when you click on so you have to click on the actual card, or you click on like that link at the bottom where it says click here to view profile.
So for profile, we click here to view profile. Because I probably should have added more of a bio, but to get to my personal page. And then if I just want to go to LinkedIn, I can click on the LinkedIn profile.
I see. I like that. I like that y'all use that. Now, the only thing I would change is I will probably put like a link that says go to LinkedIn profile and have it blue, like just like you have it there, like click to go to LinkedIn profile. Because most people won't click that icon. They may they might, I don't know, honestly. But just for those people that don't know about that, like just have another
more than one way.
Right. Exactly. And I even see that y'all have the option to add your to add the Instagram. Look like Terrence has, is that his ad right there? Like at TGO.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, at T Goggins. Yeah, you know what, that actually should have gotten removed. I thought I pushed up the change for that, but that was just I probably had it in like some placeholder text there as I was building it out. So that was just, I guess, I guess a bug, so to speak. So it really shouldn't be there.
Yeah, good job though. Like definitely a really good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Specials was nice, and this one's like another category of nice. So yeah, definitely both of the first two projects are like definitely what I was looking for. So thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Anyone want to volunteer next?
I guess we can go next. All right, can everybody see it?
Yes.
Okay. We're still working through our iterations, of course, but this is where we are on projects 1, 2, and 3. Basically, the projects, we're gonna have the profiles, so you can click on everybody's profile and go into it. And we're still setting up the parameters on that. But this is our first iteration, basically.
Okay. Yeah, it looks good. Is there any other pages but this one? Or
we have some other pages up here, category jobs, stuff like that.
Okay.
But we haven't set it up yet, as you can see. So we had a little bit of the logistics problems as far as getting our team set up to coordinate together. Because I've been traveling a little bit, being out of town, so it's kind of messing things up a little bit, but we'll get it together though. This is yet again just our first iteration.
All right, cool. Yeah, it looks good. I like the purple. Like it's definitely a good color. And I also like that y'all centered everything. Like it looks like you'll see websites like this, like or landing pages like that, where it's like all centered in the middle right there. And yeah, it looks good. Now, only sort of for constructive criticism, if you scroll down a little, the only thing I would probably change, and I don't know if it was just like a like just like your style of doing it, but I would probably even those out. Like even like those pictures, maybe make it an even square some kind of way and just fit the image inside of it. Just so all of that is together. A lot of the time on websites, you see things look like symmetric. And I know it's a first iteration, so but and even those project buttons, I'll probably make those look a little bit different. It maybe make them look more modern, like the C profile buttons. Like I feel like that'll be a good a good touch to it, and have all of the components on the website look like standard basically. I do like the picture of the lion. That's something y'all found online, or did y'all like sketch that out yourselves?
Nah, that was just a SVG.
Okay. All right, cool.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's really just the only issue we really had was connecting, you know what I mean? And we just have to figure out our schedules because DeAndre saw Diamond, we all kind of got together last night and we have some really great ideas on, you know, what it's going to turn into and, you know, mapping out our frameworks and things like that. We just got to get together and put it all together. But
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely good job on it. Yeah, and honestly, we're gonna have time to expand this. Like in the next few projects, we're gonna be working on this. We're gonna like work on your prototype to make it look more refined. So yeah, good job.
yeah. From what I expand, like from what we're going to be adding every project to this, right? So
Right.
what we were talking about is basically making it as presentable as possible, of course, so that when we add the projects, as we learn more, you know, we'll incorporate that into the landing page as well as the projects too.
Right. All right, cool.
All right, I'll stop sharing now. Okay.
Anybody want to go next?
My team will go next.
Sure.
Just give me a second.
Okay.
Just so y'all know, y'all set the bar really high. It just be nice when you see ours.
So hey Isaiah, while we're waiting for the other group, so Thunder Crew, we didn't really get a whole lot done. I think I was the only one able to get something actually uploaded to Slack. Gonna be honest, it's not much of a presentation. Even like line it up against, not even like comparing it to the other ones, it's not just like much, because only like a quarter of the page is done. So have we separated it?
Okay.
So not gonna lie, a bit discouraging, kind of following up behind everybody else and their, you know, amazing layouts and cool designs and all that. I think everybody did pretty good. I can still show you what I have if you want, but if not, that's cool too.
Yeah, you can just show me what you have. Honestly, like even if you have it done, like just talk about like maybe some of the struggles y'all had as a team.
Okay.
About like maybe something y'all didn't expect to get done that got done. Like just like as long as you got something out of it, and it can explain it, that's fine.
Okay.
And I can jump in myself also after Kev shares his, and I'll show mine. But
Yeah, it's only me and Talib from our group here.
But
The
quite
new
frankly,
member.
it would be better to just talk about our struggles as opposed to showing it, because looking at everybody else's, I would feel embarrassed, actually, quite frankly. No, I'm serious. I'd feel real
Nah,
embarrassed.
Talib, they got to see our pain, brother.
No,
Hey,
no,
y'all,
no.
this is safe space, y'all.
This
This
is
is
Don't
safe
do it.
space, man.
Don't do it.
This is safe
Don't do it.
space.
No,
Don't
don't.
worry, I don't have too many followers on YouTube, so
All right, so this is the page for Team Mutants. We we got our home, about us, projects, contact us, and we've got our pictures down here. This video was supposed to be in the background. Well, also there was only supposed to be one of these, not two of them.
okay.
And the thing about our group is that we had this one member, like he was supposed to do something, and like whenever we tried to talk to him, he never answered it. He would never answer us. Like he only showed up like once, like earlier this week, saying, "Hey guys, I'm sorry I haven't been able to talk lately because of my schedule, but I'm ready to do this and all." And then like we don't see him again until like last night, where he says, yeah, he dropped out. He dropped out of the class.
Yeah.
So sorry if this isn't really up to scuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, Evan, if you refresh the page, you can actually see that the Team Mutants actually does something.
Oh, there you go.
Cool. So yeah, it looks like there's probably okay, yeah. With group projects, I think that's always like a struggle, like making sure everybody is just as motivated to do it. And I think it's even harder to do in like a platform like this, being that like the class is free. It's like no one really has like too much skin in the game or like incentive to get things done unless like it's like an internal thing. It's like you internally want to like do this, whatever. Like there's no money on the line, basically. So yeah, I feel your struggle, and like it's definitely harder in this setup. Now with the things I do like the animation. It kind of adds some let me see. It just adds like some extra to the website. And I do like the profile section where y'all had like the picture and like the folder underneath. Like that's a nice like little design that y'all put together. And obviously, there's some things that need to be fixed. And I saw on the actual page there was some HTML showing up. It looked like somebody tried to like comment something out, but the commented things is like showing in the actual page. That's definitely something to look at. Yeah, your team is the Mutants. I think y'all only have 3 members left. So yeah, so yeah, I mean I understand the struggle. I do. But good job on it. I'm glad y'all attempted to do it. I was there to see that y'all were using the git commands, which is like really the real reason to even do these group projects. So I'm glad y'all know how to do that and just kind of like working with that. Yeah, overall, it definitely needs work, but like I said, this is only the prototype and y'all going to be doing iterations of it to make it better. So yeah.
A quick question for the first group: did they what framework did they use? Was that BOMA?
For specials or?
Yeah.
No, I actually just went on Google and found the pictures that I wanted to use as my background. And then I created a separate div for the top, which is that teamwork picture, which I stole off of Google. I just opened the image in a new tab, and then I copied the URL and used the background image URL in CSS. And then for the other one, which is like that computer kind of look to it, I had used that for the full page and then all of the other pages just to keep the consistency of the website.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was good that you attempted to use straight HTML and CSS, because like just having that knowledge of how to put that stuff together, like not everybody like have that. And it's actually pretty rare to have to for people to even put things together in HTML and CSS, especially when they start working. Normally people try to stay away from it, which is like really funny, because that's like the first thing you learn. And they'll just straight go to like a Boma or Bootstrap, and there's nothing wrong with those two websites, but it's always good to like, get your chops or whatever, like, really know how, like, to have a better idea of how these Bootstrap or like Boma kind of works like behind the scenes. So
No, it's interesting, man, because like dealing with art, right? You know what I mean? Like it's all about the visual, and you only have 3.5 seconds to get people's attention. And with animations and things like that, keeps people on your page. So I was interested to see if you were using like the Boma framework to use that animation to where you had the messaging going across the page, or if that was something you did yourself. And it was dope. I even like the Team Mutants joint with the way that the words crack. Like all that stuff gets people engaged on your site, and it keeps people there instead of clicking off. Yet again, you only got like 2.5 seconds to get people's attention. So those things are important. Good job, guys.
Thanks. Yeah, good job to everybody. And even if you guys don't feel like it was hard with every group trying to connect with each other. And like he said, like with everybody, we all do have personal lives outside of here. We're parents, we got different types of jobs and schedules. So that's always going to be a struggle. But as long as you just stay positive and keep working. Like I struggled on this. Like I stayed up to like 3 and 4 in the morning, some nights working on it, because it just was burning me out that I couldn't figure it out. But as long as you just don't let it overwhelm you and quit on it, you get to where you want to be eventually. Like as long as you just keep working to get better, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, and to add to that, I would say, although we're on different teams, we're really all one team. And I say that to say, like, if anybody on a different team needs just an extra resource or somebody to just get online with, I'm happy to help anybody. So, in fact, I'll just drop my email in the chat just in case. Or you can just reach me. Matter of fact, Slack is better. Just Terrence on Slack, just fine. If anybody just wants to go over code or anything, I'm not an expert by any means, but willing to help.
yeah, thank you for that. I want to highlight that. I want to make sure people pay attention to what you just said, because that is what this class is for. Y'all are here to like help each other out. The only reason I built the smaller groups was for y'all to like have somebody that you're kind of like forced to get to know, so to speak. But like if you like reaching out to the whole class is the best thing y'all can do. And with everybody being on different schedules, like that is that's the best way to go about it, to be honest. And then you get to meet more people, or get to know more people a little bit more. But like I said, even with that schedule stuff, like I'm gonna start, like for the class time, I would like dedicate one class time or like 2 class times for the project, just to make it easier on everybody. So we got one more group before we forget. Who wants to share a screen for that one?
I'll go ahead.
Okay.
And I'll do a couple of screens if I can. All right, so the first layout that everybody's seeing is what we're kind of going for as far as our group. We had 5 people starting, we had somebody drop, and so we wanted to find something that kind of could help accommodate for just the 4 people that we had, and something that was it could be simple enough to replicate, but could still be, changed, made something to reflect, each of us. So you had the 4 squares here, the 4 of us, each one of us had a section to do. So in class today, it's just me and Talib. Our other two members aren't in, but as far as with Bitbucket, is everybody able to see the Thunder Crew logo bottom right screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is as far as where I got trying to resize it on the page to fit so that way it didn't take up too much of the other parts of the screen. Okay, cool. I don't know if it was flashing or not, but
Yeah.
what I was kind of going for initially, I wanted to have it to where the whole box just flashed. So it would have been a blank screen and it flashed, and then our team name and maybe the picture came up. So almost if like, because Thunder doesn't really have a visual. So the visual would have just been almost like the lightning. And then if I could have gotten the sound included as well, that was like my overall goal. I was able to get it flashing, but I wasn't able to get the full, well, in this case, blinking, but I wasn't able to get the full flash done. I think Talib had some work done as well, but he just wasn't able to get it uploaded. And I'm not sure if it was like sized to fit exactly, but yeah, so far that's just what we have directly on Bitbucket as of right now.
So good thing is y'all started off with something to draw inspiration from. It's good that y'all went to Dribble to do that. Because a lot of times, like we are like software engineers, and we're not designers. Like, trust me. Like I've spent months trying to like design things, and only to realize that like those designers can take that same thing I did and do it in like a day. Like it really is a specialty. So yeah, it's a good thing y'all went to Dribble to get that inspiration. And it would have probably been better for everybody to do that if y'all didn't already do it. I'm sure some of y'all did, but it's good that you showed that first. Now with this picture here, you did size it correctly, and I do see your vision with like the thunder. Now, what were you going to do with, I guess, the pages that show the different members? Was it going to be on this first page? Were you going to like put it on a different page? Like, what was the plan for that?
So it was going to just be like the full square layout, and we weren't fully set on exactly what each square would have. We just say, okay, something that represent the team or just something about ourselves in particular. And the goal was to kind of just come together before presenting and just kind of collaborate and see what everybody had and make changes accordingly. I really couldn't too much pull any more ideas other than just team, themed. So
yeah,
this is just as far as like just kind of a placeholder, and it was official, then it'd be official,
Yeah. So if you can go back and like do this whole thing over, like what would you do differently this time around to get it closer to completion?
I would do more of after seeing everybody's projects, I'd probably target more of like a website layout, because our main thing was trying to find something that was within everyone's skill level, but also still interesting enough. So that's why we settled on more of like you see with this, it was like the one page kind of layout. I don't think if it was scrolling, it was scrolling, but if not, it could just sit on one page. That's fine. But yeah, probably do something that could be a bit more interactive. Like I like adding buttons and search bars and things of that nature like that. That would have been cool. Or maybe a couple of hyperlinks here and there to kind of take you to a different page. Just kind of just, I guess, really dive into a lot of what I knew prior to the class starting, and then after what I learned after the class starting. And I want to put some stuff in JS as well, but I didn't really get that far. So.
Okay, I see. Tyler, you want to chime in to some of it? Like, what would you do a little different, like just from your perspective, to have it, I guess, come to more of a completion before, or you just kind of like ditto, Kev? I think you're on mute.
It's out. Did you want to share your screen instead?
Yeah, and in top, you said you may have had something on your end also. I don't know if you want to share that as well. Yeah, I think okay, it's fine. So yeah, so so just to comment, yeah, I think either, I mean, having a website or the way y'all was doing it, I think either would be nice, to be honest, because sometimes it is like refreshing to see something that looks a little bit different than a website. So I mean, I think either route. Did y'all get this on Bitbucket by chance?
Isaiah,
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
I got
sorry.
this
I
part.
had I was off the I was on mute. Did you ask for me?
oh yeah. I was asking like to get your perspective on like what if you can start back over and redo it, like how would you go about like tackling a project? Like would you change the design up? Like what would you have done like differently, I guess?
So let me share with you my quick screen so I can show you what I was trying to do, and
Okay.
then I can talk it through.
Right.
So first of all, I think we set our ambitions way low compared to everybody else's. They really everybody else did such a wonderful job in terms of building a full site. And we just, kind of settled on creating some images. So that was one thing. Second of all, I think that we got caught up in just trying to learn how to do the bit bucket. And that, I'll accept responsibility for that primarily because that was one thing that I had a lot of time just trying to learn how to do the commit. But so this is my my attempt here. What I was trying to do is kind of create a again, my block, if you will, of the four. This right here, and I had trouble basically formatting it, but nevertheless, with seeing the other presentations, it does give us, at least give me inspiration, and I'm sure I can speak for Kev as well about what we really should be doing, and I think what we can do. And I'm committed, to work with Kev to go back to the drawing board and make sure that we get it right.
And you are the Thunder crew, right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah. And I know one of your members, like computer was it's kind of like out of commission right now. So I know y'all definitely
Yeah.
um, a little a setback for y'all. Okay. All right, cool. So all right. Thank you.
Yeah. So hey, if anybody was doubting their group project beforehand, I hope this makes you feel better.
Funny. Yeah. So I mean, I think the most valuable thing that comes out of these group projects is really the struggle that everybody goes through whenever you're trying to put these things together. No one, like, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but like no one really cares about a success story. Like if you go to an interview and they ask you, did you do a group project? Like they want to know about the bad stuff. like what happened? Like did y'all not find time to come together? What's it called? Did y'all struggle on something? And like when y'all do struggle on these things or have these like unfortunate things happen in the groups, like how did you overcome that? Like that part is what's most important. So that's where these group projects were really trying to like go for. Like it's good that you had a struggle, but like overcoming it is the thing. So I mean like I said earlier, like this is a prototype. So like by the end of class, we're gonna do these presentations again, and we're gonna see the final like website or landing page that you create, and y'all can go back and, and watch this previous one and compare it to the one that y'all gonna have later on. And that'll be the like how you overcame it part. So yeah, good job with everybody. And I know that like learning Git wasn't the easiest. like And I feel like we kind of started off with the class like running or whatever. And like it's definitely good to it's good that y'all hung in here and y'all are still here. And like because we're jumping into JavaScript and like we about to really start going through these projects, the ones that are in like the courses. So yeah. Any thoughts, comments about anything from
Uh,
anybody? Yeah.
yeah, just with the projects in general and everything we're doing. I'm really enjoying the coding process and learning it. It's something that I do prefer to, do. Just kind of looking forward to learning more and kind of branching out a bit, really getting a hold on everything.
Yeah.
So definitely looking forward to that.
Sure. Yeah, and as y'all code more and more, y'all gonna start to realize, like, I mean, if y'all really like it, y'all gonna start to realize that like y'all gonna be coding like pretty much every day. Like, and that's I think my friend called it the what did he say? I think the coding bug when I first started, and I'm like coding there. He's like, "Oh, I see you caught the coding bug." You really just enjoy doing it. So, and I hope everybody experienced that because that's when you really start to see like real progress when you coding every day. So, all right, cool. So it is 10. Well, EST 10:50. We'll take a quick break, 10-minute break, and after we get back from break, we'll continue going through the JavaScript stuff, and I'll give a quick overview just like I did on Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, I'm actually going to take a break as well, so I'm gonna mute myself and turn my camera off for a few minutes, and I'll see everybody back here at 11 a.m. EST. All right.
Just a side note, real quick, really good job on the projects, you guys. Enjoy seeing your websites.
Thanks. I feel like everybody
Thank
did well.
Definitely appreciate it. And special, could you share that tag you used again? I know you mentioned it in your presentation for the text going across the screen.
I'm sure. So giving it the ID is how you can, obviously just design whatever the text is. So that's why it has the ID. The smooth behavior is so it can just like roll across the screen smoothly, and then the direction you can use left, right, or you can use up or down for the direction.
Nice. So that does all that get? So I see you have the idea of header and like the behavior, for example, and the direction. Can those also be written in CSS, or do they have to be written in line? With the marquee tag.
I'm pretty sure it can, if you just put the hashtag header in CSS and then do it that way, because it's usually more than one way to do everything with coding. So I'm pretty sure it is a way, but when I was doing my research for what I was looking for, this kept coming up. And then, when you really want to do something in coding, all you have to do is Google it. So I think I used how to make a text go across the screen, and then always put in like HTML or CSS towards the end of it, and then it'll give you multiple ways to do it. But I think this was like the shorter version of it, because the other ones was like a couple different lines of code that you needed to use to get the same effect. So I just used the shorter one so the code could look cleaner.
Definitely. That one looks great. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Hey, can I see your website again, Special?
Sure.
Cool.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little salty because, you know, obviously I came up with like a whole company and things like that,
Mhm.
instead of doing it for our projects. But I'll just, you know, move some stuff around and change a couple things. Or was any particular like page you wanted to see, or?
Not really, to be honest. I was just really liking the layout and the of course the graphic there across the top. Everything looks like really clean and together. Will the now with the buttons across the top, they take you to a different spot on the page, or is it a whole nother page?
So it's a whole nother page. When you put in like your anchor, at the end of your anchor, before you get to the other A, you will put target and then equals, and you can do underscore blank. That would take you to a new page. Underscore self will open up the page, but it won't give you a new tab. And it was a third one. I forgot it, honestly. So I always use self because, you know, when you're online and you go to another page, it don't open up a new tab. It just stay on the same page of the tab you already have.
Right. And that's pretty cool because I know I've seen those websites where you'll click you could click a tab at the top and it'll just literally scroll down to like a certain page. So it's all one page, but just like one longer web page.
Yeah, I seen that. Seen
Yeah.
that as well.
And
So
did you have your whole team working through the whole project?
Yeah, we was trying to get together. We was trying to get together, but our schedules was like pretty jammed up, whereas though we couldn't really get together. So you know, we still communicated through Slack and through Instagram, and was able to get together. But I did take initiative to try to work on as much as I could, because I know that the other team members couldn't come in or couldn't put as much time in it as I was. Like, I work from home, so I was like trying to work on it in between my regular work.
Yep.
But this is how it looks. So the anchor, you know, you put the link of what website, well, the new page that you want to use, and then the target underscore self will make that page open up on the same tab you already have. And then I just linked all of the pages together. And because you want the navigation bar to be on every page, all you have to do is really just copy your like the whole navigation part, and you want to put that on each page of your code, so that way the navigation would be consistent on every page.
Okay, and that nav opened up almost like a div. I see you got everything going between there.
Yeah, so everything on the website is in divs. So when you figure out how you want things to be, that's how you know like how many divs you would need. So you would need a div for the whole page itself, and then go into divs inside of that. So you always have that parent div, and then you'll, you know, create like the child div, and then which divs would be considered like siblings to each other.
Yeah,
Like that.
child things. I know I would have been cool with doing, I guess, a bigger, maybe more of a layout. It was the main thing was trying to find just kind of some inspiration on what to do, you know, as a collective. And then but also kind of having something that since everybody was still fairly newer in our group, just thought it's something that like everybody could comfortably do for our first assignment. And then we figured if we would have to build on it later or do something different, that'd be cool after everybody, you know, got more of a footing. So
yeah,
I definitely liked everybody's websites though. They had like each website had something that I liked on it, or a few things that I liked on it. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I feel like everybody did good. And then Remember, like Google and YouTube would be your best friend. So whatever
Yeah.
you don't know how to do, is definitely going to be a video on it on YouTube, and it'll definitely be a few different solutions to get to where you want to be on Google.
Right.
The only thing I would suggest is when you are doing that, just make sure you understand how it works and why they're using those coding, tags or terms to get where you want to be. So when you do it again in the future, you'd be like, oh, okay, I remember is this. But
Yeah.
Isaiah said it before, a lot of the job is Googling and just like, just trying to figure it out like a brain buster.
Right. Now during my research, it was what I was running into was either one, trying to make sure that what I was researching was what I actually wanted to do, and making sure the terminology was right for what it was I was wanting to like add on the page. So I actually had a few ideas like coded into VSS, but they're commented out. It's like, okay, I figured out this part, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this how I wanted to. So let me just put this off to the side. Don't take it out, but I just coded it out so it wouldn't interfere with anything else. But then again, settling on what I could get working in the time frame. It's like I just wrapped up everything, I want to say the later part of last night. So
My tip for that would be when it comes to like doing anything with the front end of how it looks in the physical part, always do it through dev tools instead of doing it through VS Code, saving it, refreshing and seeing what changes you have, because with the dev tools, you can change whatever you want and
yeah.
it's not a permanent thing until you paste it into your VS Code. So
Mhm.
when I was trying to, one of my struggles was this top picture because like I said, I took it off Google, so I knew that this guy was here. Like this is how the picture is on Google. So he don't have his whole body in the picture, but you can still see that they're helping him up. And when I was trying to make when I put background image, background, I think it was background image size
Yeah.
cover to cover the whole top of the page, he wasn't here. So when I was in my dev tools, that's what helped me figure out what I needed to do. So this was my div for this top portion here.
Yeah,
And
and it's cool the way it worked out because it still covers like just enough of the page, and it still fits the theme of like the team name, the tracking unit, and it's like everyone helping out. So
yeah, I ain't gonna lie, we probably got the worst name out of all y'all because I was trying to come up with something that will like go with our name.
yeah,
So I just was like, you know what, let me just Google some teamwork pictures and see what I could find.
yeah.
But this right here, so my height of the top div, this is what I was having a struggle with because, when I adjusted, I actually didn't want the picture to be that tall on the page. But as you can see, if I make it shorter, because like this was like the ideal size that I wanted. But when I close my dev tools out, you see how the picture is actually cut off.
Right.
So it's best to use your dev tools for things like this because you can always adjust things. And then once you get it to where it was, I think I had it at 400. Then you can take this and you can copy that and then paste it in your actual CSS. So that way it'll be a permanent change. But it's best to do it that way instead of keep commenting it out and trying to figure out how you gonna get
Right.
the way that you look when you can just alter it in real time as you're watching it.
Right.
And
That's the how I was trying to get it set up on our page because of how the spacing was an issue. So initially I was just doing everything in VS Code, and then once I actually got like the sizing correct and everything for how I wanted the page to take, I wanted to make sure mine didn't run into anybody else's. From there, it was a lot easier to do work in DevTools to see what was changing, see what worked. And because I was trying some new elements here and there, it was a little easier to kind of type them out on VS Code and then come back. But for smaller things, I could control like sizing or adjusting like the margin. I could do that. And what I did also was I took the dev tools from taking up this side of the screen, because as you can see, that's like right where my that's right where my section was. So it would have been blocking the part of the work that I was trying to, scale.
So you put
And
at the bottom.
bottom right. So what I did was I made it actually float, and then I moved it over to the left side. So when I pulled up the web page, the whole dev tools was like a whole separate window, but it'll just pop up on screen. I can just work from there and still see the right side. And working with the name Thunder Crew wasn't exactly the most versatile either, outside of weather, because the only thing you can find outside of Thunder Crew when you search it is somebody's band name, I guess, and then
Wow.
Thunder Cats, but it's Thunder Crew. So
but the idea that you had with the flashing of the name and things like that was pretty dope. And then like say how like my height is crossed out now and things like that, all you have to do is hit refresh and it's gonna go back to normal because it's not saved in VS Code.
And it'll pretty much just undo whatever isn't there.
Yeah, so I would just recommend, like when it comes to the physical aspect of the page, just always use DevTools because it's faster, and
definitely.
it's just less likely to waste time with trying to save and then go and seeing the changes and things like that.
Right. I know. I'm sorry, I had an idea, but I kind of lost it. So with what else I was trying to do, I wanted to add a sound because Thunder doesn't really have a visual more so, which is why it can just kind of be mixed in with lightning, because that actually is a visual. So I was wanting to add a sound of some type that just wasn't a YouTube video, so that way it just played when either you clicked on the page or whenever it refreshed.
Right, so, and like it's literally like a game. So
y'all hear me? Am I live? Hello?
Oh, Jabez, you got your mic working, bro?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was gonna say you can use the audio tag to put sound on your page.
Yeah, I think I did add, I was in the process of adding that, and this was around, I want to say like 11:30 midnight probably. But I didn't have, I want to say, a source to pull either the sound from, and I didn't know if it had to like stay on the computer or not. So
you just put it in your folder. You put in your folder like an image. And,
right.
You can pull it like an image. So you treat it almost exactly like an image.
Okay, cool. So if if I was to send that to somebody else, would they be able to hear that sound since they don't have that file?
No, so with Bitbucket, you upload the whole thing. So like I said, it's just like an image. So as long as you have it in the folder and reference it relative to that folder, instead of like doing an absolute reference, path reference, if you use a relative reference, I can't speak, then you'll be able to whenever you put that file on somebody's computer or whenever they clone it or pull it or whatever, then it'll automatically be in the files on their computer, and then they'll be able to see it. Since you presenting it or one of your teammates are, then only you guys really need to have it. We ain't doing anything outside of peer sharing or team sharing, I should say.
Okay, so that makes sense because I didn't know if it'll carry over since it's file was doing, but yeah, that definitely makes sense now. Okay, cool. Yeah, the next one go around is gonna be a whole lot better. Oh yeah, I appreciate you getting special. Thanks for all that as well. Thanks to Jabez.
Thing, man. I'm gonna toss this link in the chat right quick. It's W3 schools for the audio tag.
Okay, I think I got a couple of W3s saved as well in my tabs on Chrome for like quick reference. Yep, and this is one of them.
Yeah, so that's
cool. Yeah, because I came across this screen at a point. And yeah, I was thinking about it moving over between devices. So I think that was my ultimate thing with not taking it. But knowing that it'll upload whenever you post it now, that definitely helps.
Yeah. Hit them with the auto play. As soon as it come on, then it'll do what you need it to do. Yeah.
I wanted to do the I was seeing that on click command I saw some time back when I showed you that game that the other dude on YouTube made with the older layout. I was wanting to do something where when you clicked that particular section or anywhere within that square box, it would pretty much like it would like show the whole animation. So you click screen with flash, the sound, you know, and all that will come together really smooth looking.
I feel like there's a way in HTML using the anchor tag with the hover property. I think there's a way you can do that. And then there's like ways to animate certain things. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you could do that. Like strictly HTML, CSS, but it's probably easier, way less painful in JavaScript. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely got y'all on this next one now. Sure. Said if anybody was having doubts about their project, I hope that boosts your spirits.
And thanks, Terrence, for presenting, because I definitely was going through it over here.
For
No problem.
what's the part? So could y'all, I guess y'all can just drop your Bitbucket links in the general channel, and also put like your group name next to it, and just drop it in there. And I'll just look at that a little bit later. So we'll hop into it. The JavaScript part. Let me share my screen.
Sorry, that kind of went over, Isaiah. My bad. I was asking questions and all that.
No, it's all good. Cause I mean, this class is like I don't want this to be like a lecture class, to be honest. So I wanted it to be like y'all talking to each other, just like y'all just did, sharing resources, like what tags can I use with what. Like that's the goal of this. So yeah, don't worry about like I don't have any. Like, I'd rather not talk, to be honest. That's my goal. So let me share screen. All right, cool. So, all right. So we left off here on JavaScript tools section. We went over dev tools. So we'll pick up here at string length. I had created a new folder on my desktop here, and I just opened up in VS Code, and I'm gonna just create the index.html and the app.j, the JavaScript file app.js. And you can create it here in the terminal, like you see I'm doing here, or you can do it on this side. However you want to do it, it's fine. But I think using these terminal commands is good to just do, just so you know them. So let's see. So let me quickly make this structure. I'll link JavaScript and open this up in the browser. All right, cool. So, all right, so the next thing is string length. All right, cool. So, we learned about strings already. If I had a little bit here, if I had a string, just say name, just put Isaiah. You can use JavaScript to count how many characters is in the string, and the way you do that is by using string.length. What I'm gonna do is I'll say num char for number of characters, and I'll put into this variable the length of this string here. Now I want you to notice something in my VS Code. You see name is crossed out right here. The reason name is crossed out is because this is actually a reserved keyword in JavaScript, just like const, let, var, like those are like keywords that mean something. Name actually means something in JavaScript. Now, I don't actually use it, but it means something. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just say my name, just to change that and get rid of that like cross out effect. So my name, Isaiah, length, and the length of this, we'll see. Let me Let me just do a console log so we can see it. I'm gonna refresh this and we see, oh wait, I actually just logged out my name. So let me log out the length as well. And I'll actually combine these with what we learned last time. We learned about the backticks. So I'm gonna put those in. And I'll say my name here. And this one is going to be my name length. Refresh. Let me get my name, Isaiah. My name length is 6. Now, while we're on this, we can also, so I can see my name here. Like I can type that in because I define this variable on the other side. If I press enter, you see Isaiah prints out. Now I'm gonna do a few things in the DevTools. So you can get the length of a string. You can also get like which character is at which position inside of the string. Now, if we look at the string, we see a few letters here. The very first letter we see is I. Now, the way we each of these letters basically has a position in the string. The letter I is at the position of 0. And we always start with 0 as the first position. So if I do my name bracket 0, I get the letter I. Now, by that logic, what's that position 1? Is S. Position 2 is A, so on and so forth. Position 3, position 4, and position 5 is H. And that's the last letter in my name. And again, please stop me if I'm going too fast with some of this stuff.
Quick question, Isaiah. Is this a file? Is a file that you've already created that you're entering this into now the console, or are you just typing directly into the console?
Yeah. So this is the index.html file. You can see it here. And so it's this here, this index.html file. I opened this up in the browser, but since we linked the JavaScript here, we have access to all of the different variables I put into the JavaScript file. So that's why I'm doing my name, which is Isaiah, and that's why we're able to see it. Even if I do like numchar, paste that in here, we see 6 prints out because I have access to all of those variables. So yeah. So to answer your question, yeah, this is the index.html file that's linked to this JavaScript file. Any other questions?
And the position is also, that can be interchangeable with index, right? Like if somebody says index, get the index of I, for example, or S.
Exactly, yeah. And the technical name is index. So yeah, so it's the index in the string. Exactly. So
okay.
I had did index 5 here, right? And 5 was the last letter. Can anybody guess what would happen if I do index 6?
Undefined.
Right.
Undefined.
Right. I would expect it to be undefined. Let me see. Yes, undefined, because there's no 6 index. Oh yeah, Tyler. I'm gonna throw all of this code in Slack as well. Now these examples here, we won't see in the code, but like anything I write on this side, I'm gonna throw it inside of the Slack. Yep. And so yeah, anything outside of the range is undefined. So index of 100, 1,000, 10,000, million, billion, whatever, is all undefined. Even if I do a negative number, we get undefined because we start off at index 0. We can't do negative numbers. Not in this case anyway. So yeah.
Question.
0 on up. Yeah.
Does it count the spaces as well? So let's say your name started with I space, S-A-I-A-H-ish. Would it count the space as well?
Yeah, it counts the spaces. So I changed it to Isaiah space Harrison. And if I would do a refresh, and I do my name. That's 1, 0, 1, and then 2. And you'll see, so H was at 5, right? So that space is gonna be at 6, and we can see an empty space right there. And 7 is the capital H for my last name. So yeah, it counts those spaces. And it even takes into account when you count the length of the string as well. Let me go grab my charger. I'll be right back.
I guess while we got the time real quick, if you want here, Livy, I'm finna merge them changes over. So I'm doing that right now.
Okay, thanks.
All right, cool. So all right, cool. So yeah, so that answers that question. So yeah, we count spaces. So the next thing is uppercase, lowercase. So with strings, we can also manipulate them. So my name right now is Isaiah Harrison, but I can also make this uppercase if I wanted to uppercase. And then this is a function. So we got to call the function with these parentheses here. And if I do that, obviously we see the uppercase version of that. And we can also do a to lowercase, and everything's lowercase. Now, the reason this stuff is useful, this uppercase and lowercase, is because we use uppercase and lowercase when we're checking like usernames and passwords. For example, if you log into a website, and anytime you compare a string, actually, you log into a website, you look into the database, you say, okay, like, let's see if this username matches this other one. We do it a lot of the time it's case sensitive. So by using these uppercase and lowercase, we make it all the same case. Now, using one over the other is your preference, but you definitely want to use one of these whenever you compare strings. And speaking of comparing strings, the other thing you want to do is trim the string. So I'll refresh this. My name, right? You see Isaiah Harrison, but it has a space right here. If I was to create another variable, let's say I'm just gonna name it A, and I'll do this, the same thing. If I say my name equals A, it does not equal the same string. And we're about to go over these also, these comparison operators. But this is comparing both strings, and this does not equal because this top one has spaces in it. So whenever we do compare strings, what we want to do is we want to trim it as well. So if I trim this first one, now it took away the spaces, and now it's true that this one equals the other one. And I did tell you that you have to actually make it the same case plus trim it. So with that, you can chain these things. So that's not you can put these things together, and this is called chaining. You can chain these. So this is how you would normally compare them. You make it uppercase first, and then you trim it, and that's the way it kind of interacts. It takes this and then fires. It uses this one on it first, this to uppercase. So it's going to turn this to uppercase, and then after it turns it to uppercase, it trims it. And trimming it, like I said, it takes away any white space. And this white space, it don't have to be just one white space. Like it can be like a whole bunch of white space like that, and it still trims off the same thing. So
and when you chain like that, it goes in order. Whatever you chain first gets executed first, then whatever you chain second, and so forth from left to right.
Right, exactly, from left to right. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what this is doing. Yeah.
A question. Because it's a name, that space in the middle between the first and last, it automatically wouldn't trim that. Like because the last name is capital, they know that it's part of your name,
Yes.
or it only trims the outside spaces.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It only trim out the space on the side. Yeah. Now, if you wanted to remove all of the blank spaces, that to do that, you had to be it's a little bit more complicated to do that, but you have to use something called a regular expression, and that those are things that I don't even really know how to interact with. But yeah, to answer your question, trim just trims off the sides, and that's really the only thing you have to worry about trimming. So, so next thing is, so we did uppercase, we did trim, we did chaining, we did index, let's say arithmetic operators. So with JavaScript, you're also able to, I'm noticing that I'm putting a lot of things in the terminal. So this code actually won't all be like shared. I'm gonna try to put something here just so we can have something. But either way, with JavaScript, we're able to do math as well. So I'm gonna create a few variables here and save that, do a refresh. You see A is here. Actually, let me comment these out. Let me comment these ones out as well. Refresh. So we got A is 1, B is 2, and C is 3. Now we can do things like multiplication, and you literally use the asterisk above the letter 8 on your keyboard. So you do shift and an 8. So that this is literally 1 times 2. If we do B times C, that's 2 times 3, which is 6. And 2, to give you a little bit more practice on those backticks, because we'll be using that a lot, we'll say 1 times 2 equals, then we'll do A times B, right? Because A is 1, B is 2. And we'll do a few of these things. We'll do 1 divided by 2. Actually, let me use 2 and 3. I feel like those would be better. Those would be better things. So B and C. So we can do multiplication, we can do division, we can do addition. So this is B plus C, subtraction. We can do modulus, and I'll show you what modulus does, and I'll do this a little bit different. I'll say 10 mod 3. And I'll put those numbers directly in there, and I'll show you what that means in a second. So multiplication, division, addition, this one, and we also have another one. This is to the power of. So 2 to the power of is 2 multiplication signs like that. Let me put the modulus after. All right, and let me go here and refresh. And yeah, 2 times 3, 6, 2 divided by 3, 0.66, 2 plus 3, 5, 2 minus 3, -1, 2 to the power of 3 is 8, and 10 mod 3 is 1. Now, what this does, this modulus, it look like a percent sign. It basically gives us back the remainder. So 10 divided by 3, so 3 goes into 10 3 times, making that 9, with the remainder of 1, right? So if I put 11 here, the remainder should be 2. Refresh, and we got 2 here. Now, y'all might be wondering, why are we doing this? Like, why do we need the remainder of something? Now, the most useful thing to use with this modulus is to be able to tell if something is a positive number or I mean, not positive, an odd number or an even number. Now, if I do 10 mod 2, anything divided, any even number divided by 2, like 2 goes into any even number evenly, right? So the remainder is always going to be 0. Now, if we have an odd number here, let's do 11. Any odd number, there's always a remainder of 1. So if you wanted to determine if a number was odd or even, you can just check the remainder. If you do mod 2, you check the remainder. If the remainder is 0, then it's even. If the remainder is 1, then it's an odd number. Now you may be wondering, why would I want to tell if a number is odd or even? Like, how is that going to help me? Now, have you ever seen if you ever see like any tables or whatever? Normally, let me pull it up. Let's see, table. Sometimes you see tables with like alternating colors, right? Like some rows would be light, some rows would be darker, like this here. This is a good example. White, gray, white, gray. What we can do with that is use JavaScript to determine what color the row is. Now, if it's row number 1, we'll use 1 mod 2, and we'll get a remainder of 1. That's how we know that like this row is odd, this row is even, this row is odd, this row is even, and depending on like if the number is 0 or 1, will change the color of the table, the row in the table. That's the classic, a classic example of how to use or of why we need to use odd or even numbers. Another example would be like a dice roll, for example. Like if you use to roll a dice, there's only 2 options. I'm not dice, flip a coin. Use to flip a coin, there's only 2 options, heads or tails. You can label one as odd and one is even. And then you can sort of make like a game, like a coin flip game. And it'll include this like modulus thing here. It could include that if you built it that way. Maybe generate a random number between 1 and 10. And if that number is odd, then it's heads. If the number is even, then it's tails. There's like little things like that. Yeah, you can use this modulus with. And yeah, everything else is kind of self-explanatory. You can use this with like calculators. If you used to build a calculator, sometimes you need to do like some calculations inside of your app. For example, if a player scores some points, how many points did they score? Let's say you want to make a football game. They do a touchdown, 6 points, like whatever, like to add to the scoreboard. So that's why these are useful. Next is the modulus. Okay, increment, decrement. So I'm just print.
I have a question.
Yeah. Which question?
What is the difference between the double multiplication sign and single multiplication sign?
Yeah, so this one is 2 to the power of 3. This one is 2 times 3. So 2 to the power of 3 is 8, because 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. So
okay,
yeah, it's an exponent basically. So and yeah, that's all it is. So with increment, decrement, right? We're able to, I'm gonna create a new variable e, and I'll use a, right? If I do, we're able to increment and decrement numbers. So if I do e equals a plus plus, actually it doesn't work like that. Let me just do this. A plus plus a. There is a specific way to do this.
You have a set to a const. That's why.
Right. Yeah. I was just yeah. Exactly. So thank you. So when you let me refresh this. Yeah. And we saw. So C, I left it as a constant, right? If I do C plus plus, which is a programming language. Assignment to constant variable. So what this does, C++, that is the equivalent of C++ is the equivalent of doing C equals C plus 1. That is that's the equivalent of that. That's literally just incrementing C. Now but since C is a constant and constants can't be changed, that's why I have to change these to let. So if I do, let me refresh, let me just clear this. If I do A++, because A is now a what's it called? Using let. Now, one thing I want you to notice, right? A started off as the number 1, right? We did 1. So when I increment that, you expect to see 2 here. But if I print out A again, now all of a sudden you're seeing 2. Now the reason for this is because of how you increment and decrement. But before I get there, I just want to show you like a decrement, how you do that first. So decrement is A minus minus. If I do this, we see 2 print out because A was already 2. But if I do A again, 1 prints out here. Okay, so, and before I show y'all the difference, I want to show you something else real quick. If I do plus plus A instead of A plus plus, we get 2. Print out A, we get 2. If I do minus minus A, we get 1. Or print out A, we get 1. So based off of that, right? Based off of seeing that plus plus versus minus minus on either side of the A, can somebody take a guess at like what's happening in JavaScript?
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, please. I feel like with plus plus A, it is adding first, then printing. So it's A plus 1 equals A, essentially. With A equals, and it's printing that, like the result. With A plus plus, is printing A and then doing the calculation.
Right.
Like, so it's in reverse.
Exactly. So to reword that, when you have the plus plus or the minus minus in front, the very first thing it does is adds that 1 here in this case, and in this case it'll subtract the 1, and then it'll give you back the value. Now if you do it the opposite way, it gives you the value back and then it does the calculation. So this is like a so A plus plus versus plus plus A, like that's something that someone can potentially ask you on some interview, right? And you can even see that like it looks kind of weird here because like so A started off at 1, we printed it out, which was 1, and then incremented it, making it 2. So by the time we got to this line, it was already 2. So in this case, we added 1 to 2, which is 3, and then printed it out. Like we added it first, and that's why we skipped the number 2 here. But yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
And I know we're not quite there yet, but I remember taking a JavaScript course years ago and get confused on this very topic because I know the plus plus and minus minus are usually used in like loops, so you can loop through like an array. Is it better practice to use it on the left side or right side when you're looping through an array, for an example?
Yeah, so looping through the array, you want to use it. It doesn't matter which side you use it on, actually. But to be honest, I always use it on the right side. Like
right side.
Yeah.
To print it first.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. Ultimately, it doesn't matter which side you use it on, because by the time you get to the actual code block, you know how you're looping over something, and like by the time code block, it's going to be the value that you want it to be. So yeah.
But debugging, would that help with debugging? Like if you have it on the right side, because it prints the old value first, and then after you go through it, then it has the new value. So would that help with debugging?
Like if you wanted to see it in the debugger, you're saying?
Yeah, so it'll show you the old value. Then when you iterate through it, it'll show you the new value.
Yeah.
Well, I guess would it even really matter? Yeah.
So let me see. So A started off at 1, then now it's 2.
So yeah.
Yeah, it probably doesn't even matter. Now it's still 2, and then oh wait, I did not. That. Still refresh. Okay, so it's 2, and by the time we get to this line, it's still 2. But then, yeah, it doesn't matter. As soon as we leave the line, it's gonna go. But I think the difference here is if you was to set this equal to something, let's say const z, right, equals that, or const y equals this. Now this is gonna matter. I'll refresh this. So A right now is 1, right? So this is going to return a value before it increments it. So Z should be still 1 because it didn't increment it yet. But at the same time, A is 2. So we may have expected Z to be 2. So, but in this case, so A starts off at 2, it's going to increment and then return number 3 back to Y in this case, and A is the same value as Y in this case. So yeah, this is when it matters.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool. So what's next? So fixed decimal places. So you can also do some fixed decimal places. If I print out A here, A is 3. If I do A2 fixed, I can pass in any number I want. I pass in number 1, you see it's 3, you see that it's 3.0. I pass in 2, 3.00, so on and so forth. I don't think you can pass in negative numbers, just positive numbers in here. And it gives you a fixed decimal place. Also notice that this is a string. You can't have decimal places in like 0 zeros like that inside of numbers. If I do F equals 5.0000, if I do that and print out F, it just comes out as just 5 by itself. So the only way to make a fixed decimal place is to turn it into a string, which is what this does for us. It turns the number into a string and then adds a few zeros at the end. That's all that really does. So another example, if I had, let's say G equals 6, let's say 3.14 pi. If I do G dot 2 fixed, and I just want 1 decimal place, like it takes into account the decimal places that's already there, as we can see. And if I want to do like 10 decimal places, obviously, it's going to add a few zeros at the end. And this 2 fixed, I believe it rounds. Let me I think it rounds up or down. Let me double check that. If I have 5.67, see L 5.67, I do L dot 2 fixed, 1 decimal place. Yeah, it rounds it up. So it rounds up or down depending on like the number. So 5.7 from 5.67. This is
So
go ahead. Yeah.
Oh yes, sir. So if it converts it to a string, can you then use it to so it's 2 fixed 5.7, but it's a string. Can I then multiply that by the number 5, for example? Or can you not do that because you're multiplying a string by a number?
Right. So if you multiply a string by a number, I'm actually not sure what is going to happen. Let me see. So Q is this. So now we know Q equals that. If I do Q times 2, I feel like it might convert it to a string, and then yeah, it converts to a string and then multiplies it. I wouldn't do it like this though, because this can sometimes lead to like unexpected results. What I would do is turn it back to a number. So parse. So parse floats. Parse float actually is a function that you can use to turn something back to like a float value. A float value is something that has decimal places. Now, if I want to turn it to an integer, an integer is something that has that's a whole number. I want to turn Q to an integer, then it just takes off the decimal places. There's no rounding at all. It just literally just chops it off. Remember Q is 5.7. So
And float doesn't carry the zeros, do it?
No, it's not gonna like if there's a whole bunch of zeros, it's not gonna keep them. Like if I do, I'm just gonna put a number in here. 1 point, a whole bunch of zeros. Let's say I got turned to a string actually. So this was a string. It just says 1 there. But if it already had like some decimals in there, then it's gonna keep whatever was there and chop off the other zeros. So to put bodies, I would do this. I would do parse. Actually, I would do parse float. I would do parse float, and this is a good example actually when I use this parse int, because Q was 5.7. When I did parse float, it chopped off this 7 and just did 5 times 2, and that's not what we wanted. We wanted to include this decimal place. So if I do parse float and then put Q in here, we actually done a 5.7 times 2, which is why we get this as opposed to just 10 by itself. So that's something to be careful with. All right. And
I was gonna ask if those could be changed. So if I was to use a parse float and then Q dot to fixed, that will work.
Yeah, I think it will work actually. To fixed. I say, yeah, it's already.
Yeah, or even to fixed on Q inside of the parse float.
Say it again?
So like using it on Q inside of the parse, inside of the float.
Yep, you can do that too. Yep. And this will hold on. Q is
5.7.
It's a string, that's why. We can't use to fixed on strings. So you got to convert to a string first.
Okay.
If I did like 2.3 and then to fixed, like there is no to fixed method on a string. It's only on numbers. 2.3 like that. This looks weird. But yeah.
One last question on this. So I noticed you're calling the methods or functions in 2 different ways. Like you either have the dot and then the function, and then you have it in the middle. Is there a better practice, or is there one we should be, or just get used to seeing both, I guess?
You're saying like parse float versus like something like this, like to fixed.
Like, yeah, instead of like you have 2.3 dot to fixed, you could also have, like you said, to fixed and then 2.3 in quotes inside of the function, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. You're saying like this, like that, or no? Or
like yeah, but at the inside of the parentheses, like 2.3 inside of the parentheses. So to fixed, set of quotes, and then 2.3 inside of the parentheses, like that.
Right. So the way that to fixed work though is like you can't use it unless there's a number that you're using it on. So you couldn't even put the 2.3 in here, like, because this first this is used on numbers, so that's why I use it on a number here. And the parentheses says how many decimal places to fix it to. So, but I see what you're trying to say. And to give you a more detailed answer to why I can do this parse float here, but I can't do to fix like this. This is actually, and this gets a little bit more advanced somewhat. Anytime we write a function like this, what we're actually doing is doing window dot whatever that function is. Where in the window is the actual screen.
The object.
Right, exactly. So that's why we do that, because the window has this, but window does not have a to fixed method. And that's why we couldn't do to fixed. So if I do to fixed here, it's not even in there.
That makes sense. Okay, you're calling it a method against the object or a function against the object,
Right.
and it has to be
Right.
it
Exactly.
has to be one that can access. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. So and I should use the word method also, because a method is inside of an object, and these are objects like these number. It's like
That was going to be my next question. What the difference was between the method and objects? I always hear them both, but
yeah. So so a method inside of an object is actually hold on, let me see how far that is. I don't want to jump too far. Yeah, let me actually go through a few of these. But to quickly answer your question, like functions are things that you define out here, like we did last time when we just did like an arrow function or whatever. Like these are functions. But inside of objects is where you'll find methods. Like if you had like an object like this, and then you had a method, you had a function inside of that. This function inside of this object is now called a method. So that's a difference.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And we're gonna get to
that makes sense.
Everybody else. Yeah. So let me, where are we? We did two fixed, so num to string, we did that already. So round up and down. If we do shoot, so A is 3. Let's do actually, let me just refresh. Get rid of this debugger. Keep that. Actually, I'm gonna comment these out. I don't want these to interfere with anything. Okay. If I have, let's say, 3.14, right? Do a refresh. Now A is 3.14. Now to round this up, let's see. Up and down. I honestly forgot the method to round up and down. Round up. Okay, so
yeah, floor and seal.
Floor and seal. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so math dot floor rounds down. I'm sorry. So in order to round up and down, we got to use a math object, something called a math object. The math object, just like we had window at first, right? When we're doing window dot whatever. Now math is something that's on the window as well. So if I literally do window dot math, we see it there. So with that being said, math is also an object of itself. It has a whole bunch of stuff inside of it. If I open that up, we see a bunch of different things in here. We even see floor, which I'm about to show y'all. And we see seal is here. I'm about to show you this one as well. This has a whole bunch of stuff inside of it. And we didn't have to use window.math. We can just literally just type math and you will see the exact same object show here. So that's that. Now, in order to round up a number, you use the math object. To round up, you do math.seal. It's like for like sealing. You'll put 3. If I put A in here, since A was 3.14, it rounds up to 4. But if I do math.floor, it's going to round down. And that's why we get 3 now. So math.seal rounds up, math.floor rounds down. And you can use different math things in here as well. Like I said, they have E, they got pi, so you can get like the you get the expanded version of what pi is. Different like trigonometry methods if any are into trig. And most of these you're not really going to use, but it's helpful. Even pow here, that's like to the power. We had learned earlier that you can we did 2 to the power of 3 like that, but you can literally just do math dot pow, right? And this is going to take 2 things, x and y, takes 2, and this is the equivalent. So this is 2 to the power of 3. So you pass in 2, and then it basically gives you the power. So you can do it like this, or you can do it like this. Whatever way is better for you. This might be more readable because you can actually see it says power there for power, 2 to the power of 3. But either way, works. So 4, power 5, 6, 7, etc. So feel free to play around with the math object. So let's do Booleans. Let's see, we got 6 minutes left. Now, a Boolean, we learned about strings, right? We learned about numbers. Now we're gonna learn about Booleans. And Booleans are true or false values. A Boolean can either be true or it can be false. Or it can be a representation of what true or false is. Now, what I mean by that, in programming, the number 0 means false. This is called a falsy value. Falsy, just like that. So this 0 is false. Any number except for 0, normally 1, is going to be true. So that represents a truthy value, or it's like a true value. So true is true, false is false. You can use this into variable. You can put them into variables if you wanted to. Let's say light is on, and this is like a light switch. Light is on, true, right? I refresh this. If I print out light is on, we get true here. Now, if I do another variable, let's say light is off. No, let's say light is on, and let's say if I do light is on false, that means that the light is off. For example, like the light switch, right? That's how you use Booleans. You use it to represent a scenario that has two. You use it to represent something that has two different scenarios. If the light switch is on, it's true. If the light switch is off, it's false. If the microwave is on, it's true. If the microwave is off, it's false. There's a lot of examples you can like give two different values to. Like, are you at work? True. Are you at work? False. Like, is it bedtime? True. Is it bedtime? False. That's where you use Booleans. So we got numbers. I mean, we got strings. We got numbers. We got numbers, and we got Booleans. And please don't ask me what this is, because I'm not I'm not sure what that is. I've seen it before, and I know why we use it, but we never used this ever. So if you see this somewhere, don't worry about it. And we'll get to something like that too, by the way. Either way, we have strings, we have numbers here. Let me clear this off just so we can get that off the screen. We have strings, we have numbers, and we have Booleans, right? Now, where do we use Booleans? Booleans can be used to make decisions. And in order to make decisions, we use something called if-else statements. So if, right? And then you give it the parentheses. If light is on, you're gonna run this code block. Else, you run this code block. So if the light is on, you're gonna say light is on. Else, if the light is not on, the light is off. So if this was true, put a debugger here as well, so we can see this happen. Refresh. We have light is on, it's true. So if true, right, we go inside of here and we console log the light is on. That's why we get the light is on here. But if I go back and make this false, do a refresh. Now this is false. Since this is false, this condition is false, we're not going to go inside of this code block here. And since we didn't go inside of this one, we're going to go inside of this one by default. The else block we always go inside of if we don't run the if block. Now, to rephrase that another way, whenever we have these if else statements like this, only one of these code blocks can run, only one. If this first one runs, the second one does not run. If nothing runs at all, we always default to this one, the else block. So, and that's why it prints out the light is off, because this condition was false. And we only run the code block if the condition is true, and this was false. So I hope I didn't make that more confusing than what it is. So with that, we can learn quickly about another scenario, an if else block. Now the if else block, let's say light is on, light is off. With the if else block, it basically works the same as the if block. If the condition is true, it's going to run it. If this condition is true, it's going to run it. It's going to run this code block here. So it's going to first go here. It's going to say, okay, is the light on? This is going to be false. So it's going to skip over this code block. Then it's going to say here, go here. Is the light off? That's true. So it's going to go inside of this code block. And since it went inside of this code block, it's going to skip over this one, because this last one only runs by default. So if I go to the browser and do a refresh, we're going to be able to start to step through these things. We have true, false here. We got true here. So this one is false. So we skip over that one. We go to the next one. We check this. Okay, that's true. And since that's true, we're going to go inside of this code block and log this out to the console. And then it's going to skip over everything else, because only one code block can run. And it prints out the light is off. This is not the best example because we have these here being the exact same thing. But like either way, like this is how you make decisions with JavaScript. If you ever wanted to make decisions, and we'll actually pick up on this decision stuff in the next class as well, because I see that it's already 12. Any questions before we end class?
Yeah, is there I guess is there a new project that we have to begin?
Yeah. All right. So let me stop sharing really quick. So now what the next things to do in the class, right? So everybody should already be done. Let me actually share my screen again. I think so. Everyone already should be done what I'm going over. What I'm going over should be reviewed. It shouldn't be like what you see for the very first time. So everybody should already be done these 5 sections already, right? And I will hope that people already got done on project 1 and maybe even project 2. But if you're not done that, the next 3 projects that we're going to do are the projects in the course. So keep going through the course, finish project 1, 2, and 2. Yeah, I think projects 1 and 2 is the best place to be right now, like completing project 2 by Tuesday, I would say. And yeah, so those 2, and honestly, like after you complete this one, you can just keep going, to be honest. Like just keep going through all of these projects until you're complete all the way through the course. Because what we're going to start to do is every Sunday, starting next Sunday, we're going to solve these projects as a class. Like literally one of y'all going to share your screen, and you're going to start from complete scratch with each of these things until we get through all of these projects. And the only way to do that efficiently is if y'all already looked at these videos and already know the solution. Because after you know the solution, just you knowing the solution doesn't mean that you know how to do it. I want y'all to see the solution. I want y'all to practice on your own time, and then come to class and solve these things together. And I may actually break y'all up into like 2 different groups to solve these. But yeah, that to answer your question, those are the projects we're going to be doing as a class together. And then once we get to a good stopping point, I'll stop us, and then I'll give y'all another like group project as like your actual groups. So
Okay, got it.
all right, cool. So yeah, so next Sunday we're gonna do project 1 and project 2, and hopefully project 3. I mean, the faster we can get through these, the better, basically. So, and those 2 groups that I break y'all up into, y'all gonna remain groups until we done all of these projects. So we can even have a race, to be honest. For it would be like the first group to finish, I don't know, get brownie points or whatever, like gets bragging rights. So yeah, we're gonna brush through all of this, and then but yeah, like I said, we're gonna have stopping points where we stop as a class to do group projects. Any other questions? Okay. All right, cool. So if there's no questions, I'll see everybody on Tuesday, where we'll continue with the JavaScript stuff. And I'll finish off this JavaScript stuff on Tuesday. And if I don't finish it off, then I'll just leave it up to y'all to finish it on your own, because I don't want to spend too much time in class learning this when y'all can like learn it. And y'all can just come with questions, to be honest, if anything. So, all right. Cool. All right, I'll see y'all.
Yep. Thanks.
I'll stay around for any questions.
See y'all on Tuesday.
See you.
See you.
All right. I'll end it if there's no questions. All right, see you.